Everybody, got you over here at our mill, our mock mill. We're going to mill up some hard white wheat berries today because we're making sourdough cinnamon rolls. I have made cinnamon rolls but never added sourdough into it, so we're going to see what it tastes like. So we're still on our fresh milled, but a little bit of sourdough too. And I just made up a new sourdough bread, so you know, the dough to get bread tomorrow. So with that, let's get started at the mill. Everyone, we are over here at our milling station and our mixer station. We're going to use both today because we're going to have fun making our sourdough rolls. I'm just double checking the amount. So we need 480 grams of hard white wheat. So let's mill these out, weigh them out, and then mill them out. 480 grams, it says, which is quite a lot, but we're going to have a really nice dough. Let me see. It says to 562, but I will use the first one, which is 480. So anywhere between 480 and 560 is good. I just did 494. So we will get my bowl over here, move these over. We'll put these away. Pull my mill out. I know you guys can see it. You like Mr. Mill here with his eyeballs. We will turn it on and put our berries in, and let's get Sorry about that. Almost done. I know you can't hear me, but we are almost done. Remember, we always use a hard white wheat when we want to bake. The soft white wheat is for other things. So we're going to set up my situation here, and then we will get all the ingredients out and get started. I haven't used this in a long time, but I really like it when we make my dough, as everyone else does. I better make sure it's plugged in, which it's not. So make sure it's off. Ugh. Okay, plugged in. All right, I'm going to grab my stuff and then we'll get started. All right, guys, got you over here at the anchor some. I'm going to pour in my flour. There's all the flour that we need. I'm going to check this temp. Oh, that's still pretty hot. I think we need to wait for it to cool down. So it's still quite hot. We'll wait a little bit longer before I add my sourdough to it because I really don't want to kill it. So even the little half cup of cold water probably wouldn't make a difference. It probably would still make it warm. I think I'm going to take it out of the pan and put it in a bowl, and then it will cool it down faster. I'm going to go ahead and add our eggs in here. Here's our eggs. And I will add the sourdough starter in here. That's a half a cup, remember? Half a cup of sourdough starter going in. Then we want to add a pinch of salt. Seeing how that was salted butter, we got to be careful with the salt, so I just added a pinch. And this is pretty much cooled down, so we'll dump it in there and get started with mixing it up. We want to first start at the low, not high. We want to start at low. So I'm going to turn it on and watch it as it mixes. We just want to mix it up so we can do the autolyzing for 10 minutes. Do you remember that? When we make our dough, we autolyze for 10 minutes. So we're going to turn it off and take everything off and just set it inside this bowl. It's okay. It's not going to hurt anything because we're just going to put it right back up in there. So just let it all set right here. And I have the lid over here. And we're going to let it autolyze for about 10 minutes. And if I think it needs more flour, I will mill up a little bit, because sometimes, depending on the weather, you might have to add more flour. So I'll mill up a little bowl of it. Moved you over here so you can see me mill up a little bit, just enough to maybe get the dough. That's just enough. If I need more, I can mill up more. I just want to be able to make sure we got the dough correct. So there's little flakes of buckwheat in there. A little bit of buckwheat flakes aren't going to hurt anybody. So we'll wait our 10 minutes and then we'll get back to the mixer. All right, we're going to get this back together and see how it blends up. It says that we need to start blending it for about just enough to see when you see a ball, and then it has to set for 3 to 4 hours to rise. Because we have a sourdough starter, it's going to take a little bit longer. So we'll probably be doing this well into the night, but that's okay. Let me grab this down here. I can't see because the camera's right in front of me. On top of me, I just got that all yucky. Gross. This is our scraper, bowl scraper. So I'm going to turn it on low and let it mix for a few and see what happens. And every now and then I just go like this until it starts forming a ball. So scraping the side of the bowl, but we want it to form a ball. And it's not doing the yet. I'm going to just put a little bit with my hands in here, flour. Just put a little bit in there. Give it a mix. Tighten that up. And use my bowl scraper. All you want to do is put that about ½ inch or an inch away from the bowl so it can knead the dough at the same time. I'm going to add a little bit more because it's not turning into a ball. Today it's a rainy day, so it does make the dough not quite right. And we want to get it where it's, there it is, see? It's starting to form. That's where we want it. Just like that. I'm going to add just a little bit more, a touch more. I'm just throwing it in there by the handfuls and giving it a mix. The weather does play a lot in your dough making. You can still move this to the center, even though it's on lock mode. You see that buckwheat down there in the center? That will be fine. It's not going to hurt nothing. It's just a shell. Super close to where I want it. Watching the dough. Seeing how it's reacting to the mixer. I'm going to turn up just a little. See if that helps. It's so close. I'm at a little bit more, another handful. Mix both. Remember, the recipe did say you could add more. And maybe I should have went on the high side instead of the less side. It says up to 560. We didn't even add quite 560. So the weather here, I should have did the second amount. But that's okay. So it's starting to get formed there around the bowl. I just want to push this in, both in. Get it going around that roller so it can knead. There we go. I think it's going to work. I'm going to add a touch more. A lot of times people have a hard time with this dough roller because they don't get the dough right. Getting the dough right makes the difference. So we're going to let this run. I'm going to put it on the timer for 12 minutes and let it get formed. So we don't have to watch it for 12 minutes, but I'll let it finish. I think it's good to go, actually. It's not sticking to the roller anymore. Try to scrape some of this off. Let me get something to scrape that off that scraper. Woo! Well, that wasn't smooth. That was bad. There we go. It's going good now. I'm going to let up a little. This way it doesn't sound so hard, like it's working hard. Bring it in a little bit more. That's about right. It's going good. It's going to go for its 12 minutes, so we'll see you back when it's all done kneading. All right, I'm going to check it. Let's see what we got going on here. It's still a little sticky. It's almost at the window pane. It might be a stickier dough than normal, but yeah, see. I'm going to do it for about 5 more minutes. So we'll turn it back on for 5 minutes and let it do its thing for 5 minutes. I mean, it's not too sticky, but it is sticky. I'll read the recipe to see if it's a sticky dough, more or less. Let me read it again. It says gently until the dough is nice and stretchy, and it can take up anywhere to 5 to 30 minutes, depending on your mixer. Just make it and check it for the stretches. If the dough seems tense or tight, add some water. If it's loose, add some more flour. After the dough is stretchy, let it rise, almost double. This can take up to 3 to 4 hours. So while I'm letting it rise, I'm going to go get a haircut in between. So I need a haircut really bad, so I'm going to try to get in and see if I can get a haircut. I'm going to call them and see if they have any openings. If not, I'll just hang out and wait for the dough to rise and we'll continue on. And while the dough is rising, we can make the filling, which is what I said, which is the brown sugar and the butter and the salt and the cinnamon. And this has a buttercream frosting. So we add butter to it and powdered sugar and salt and vanilla and a little bit of milk if needed, so it gives it a little taste. So while I was talking, you guys were over there watching it, and it looks like it's doing really, really well. Let's wait for the 5 minutes and test it again. All right, I'm gonna turn it off. I just checked it, so I'm gonna take this off, pull back this, take my dough out, dough thing, and take the bowl scraper out. Get all this dough off. I have a scraper for the bowl. Looks good. Looks like it's doing really well. I think we're good to go. I'm going to scrape this and put this all here. I'm trying to do this with the camera next to me too, because we want to take this out and add some oil and let it rise. Just trying to get it off the bottom here. All right, let me add some oil to it. I'm grabbing my sprayer over here. I have a handy dandy sprayer that sprays this. I just took my bowl right off because it's stuck to the bottom. There we go. When I checked it, it was perfect. I can show you. Just take some off here. Remember, you want to see the window pane. Just want to see it. You don't want to tear it. You don't want to have it tear. See? You can see right through it. I pulled those corners a little bit too far. That's why it tore. Some dough on the side over there that I couldn't see. Catch all this dough everywhere. A little bit doesn't matter. Okay. Just pull it up and kind of make it into a ball. A nice round ball. I'm going to take it over here and spray my bowl with oil. Plop it in there. Call it that, and it's supposed to double or triple in size. So we're going to put the lid on, and we're just going to let it sit here and chillax. So we will be back in a few hours when it's all doubled in size. All right, everyone, we're going to take the lid off and see how it's doing. It looks like it may have doubled. Let me take this off my hair thing off, because I just got back from getting a haircut. I think we could go ahead and use it. So I think it's ready to go. So we'll go over on the other counter and we'll make our brown sugar mixture and get this rolled out and get these rolls going. All right, it says we need a half a cup of softened butter. I got some here. I'm going to see if this is a half a cup. Not quite. We need a little bit more. Let me throw this away in the trash. I have some more butter over here. This is softened butter, so not melted, softened. This is a little bit softened, but not totally softened. So I'm going to put this in here. Add little pieces over here. I'm just grabbing the butter off the thing. That's probably enough. So we'll put it in our bowl right here. We'll soften butter in the bowl. There's a little bit of hardness to that butter, but not too bad. So we're making the filling to the dough. It says 1 cup of brown sugar. I'm going to put this over here. I got brown sugar over here. I'm just getting it in my container. Freshly made from a couple days ago. There's brown sugar going in. And it says a pinch of salt and some cinnamon. A pinch of salt and cinnamon. So I got my Redmond's real salt right here. A pinch of salt. And it says about 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Add some cinnamon here. I'm going to get a fork. I'm going to blend that up with a fork. So this is our filling to our outside of the inside. Inside of our, let's make a huge mess. I think I'm just going to use my hands more or less. I think it'll be a little bit easier to get my hands in there because I'm getting it everywhere, all over the counter. Just mix that in. Get your hands in it. You're going to be using your hands to put it out on, spread it out in there anyway. So there we go. Much better than using a fork. That mixes up. Your hands mixes up. The warmth of your hand mixes that butter up. So that's our filling. I'm gonna get everything ready and prepared for our dough on the counter. I'm just washing my hands over here with all this butter and cinnamon and sugar. I'm gonna give them a wash. I'm going to move everything over and I'm going to bring my dough over and we're going to get it out on the counter. To make our rectangle shape. Most of the time I just kind of use my hands for this. I'm going to spray some oil on the table so it won't stick. And bring guys up just a tad. Up. Just adjusting the camera here. There we go. I'll show you this top view. And then let me get my rolling pin. And then I'll bring it out front so you can see what I'm doing after I get this rolled out. This wants to fall. Let me adjust this. I don't mean to make you nauseated. Let me adjust it. I'm going to turn you up. There you go. That should be much better. Just rolling it out to the desired thickness. We want to make it a rectangle shape. Make it all even. I see this seed from the other berry, the buckwheat, which was black. Sometimes you get a little bit of that in the mill. I just want to make this as square as possible, or rectangle as possible, and even thickness all around. Let's bring this out over here. A little bit thicker over there. I'm just making it even all around into a big rectangle. We'll see how many we can get. Then I'm going to spread the filling out on top of here. I'm just going to put it out here and spread it around with my hands. Just butter and sugar and salt. Spread it around evenly. Make sure you wash your hands. Gonna be some yummy, yummy cinnamon rolls. Nice breakfast for everyone tomorrow when we're so busy driving around everywhere. I'm gonna grab a spoon and spread it around with a spoon. And clean my hands off over here. My soap, because butter needs to stick to your hands. Just trying to get this off over here. I know you're sitting over there looking at the dough with the sugar on it. I'm going to get a spoon. If I use this fork, it might rip it apart. A spoon. Spread this around with a spoon all the way to the edge, because I know sometimes it says not to do the edge, but I would do the edges because those end pieces are the ones that give you trouble with no cinnamon in them. So just spread it. This was plenty. 1 cup of brown sugar with a 1/2 cup of butter was plenty. Just give it a spread. Spread it all over, all that yummy goodness. And then we're going to make a buttercream glaze. So I've seen people do cinnamon rolls a different way. I've seen them roll it up and then cut it, but I'm going to try this other way that I've seen people do, which is slice it down and then roll it up. So I'm going to try that. It's a whole different way. I'll keep you guys topside so you can see it. And I'll put them over in a pan over here. So there's that. I'll get a pan. I'm going to spray it with my oil. And we'll put them in there. I got my clear pan. I'll spray it because we don't want any of it to stick. So I'll just spray it. I got my handy dandy sprayer that I bought on Amazon, which I truly love. It's a sprayer and a pourer at the same time. And I just use olive oil all the time. That's what I use. Okay, so I'm going to get my bench cutter or my dough. Yeah, we'll use my bench cutter. Sorry for not having everything together. We will just, let me go over to the side over here. I'm just going to make lines as thick as I think they should be. And then we'll roll them up. So we're going to make them like this. We're going to do it this way because I've seen a lot of people do it this way, and it's a lot easier and neater. So we'll see how this goes for me. First time doing it this way. So basically you just make your lines and then you roll them up. Roll them up this way and then put them in the pan. We got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm only going to get 10 out of this. This one's going to be a little bit thicker. So what you do is you grab a hold of this bottom and roll it up this way. Roll it up just like this and then put it in your pan, which is a whole lot easier. So I'm just stuffing them over here in the pan. Roll them up. Than the other way that I was doing it. This is a lot easier. This is what they look like. I'm just putting them in the pan. So you can do them both ways. This way seems to be a lot easier and a lot nicer. And you got sugar throughout. Here I am just rolling them up. Very simple. Simple, simple. And they're thicker, see that? Some are thicker than others. These are going to be yummy. If I was doing this professionally, like selling them, I probably would make them more even. I'm out of frame here. Let me get you back in frame. Sorry about that. I got this going on over here. My pan is pretty big for this. I might switch my pan. I'm not sure. I will see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch my pan. Those are looking nice. And this is so much easier. Maybe I could get 2 out of this last one. Nah, I'll just make it big. We're good with that. Maybe I could shrink it in. Bring it in, bring it in. It's a big long one. I know what I can do. I can make 2 out of this by just cutting it. Let me check any of these. Maybe 2 out of this one. This one's pretty much dough. Maybe I can get 2 out of this one. Make it a full pan. We got this. Let me try to cut this one more time over here. That one is just going to be the end one. I'll call that the end one. We need 1 more, but I think we're good. There we go. We got them. Now we're going to cover these with a towel. I'm looking for a towel. Hold on a minute. It's a nice clean one with a damp towel. I'm just going to dampen this, not wet it, but damp it. so I don't want to get stuck to it. So I'm just going to put it over and let it set and let it rise for a little bit. We're going to let it rise for I don't know. Let it rise for maybe an hour and we'll come back to it. So with that, we'll come back after an hour and see how they're doing. All right, we're going to put some butter in this bowl here, about a half a cup. And we're going to cream it up. I'm going to put it down and we're going to cream it. Make it nice and smooth. We're going to make our buttercream frosting. We're going to add some vanilla to it. We need vanilla and powdered sugar and a little bit of milk. So let me add a little bit of vanilla with it. It's not creaming or anything. I'm going to add the powdered sugar to it. And then we'll add the milk and get it started. I get a spatula. Hold on a minute. There we go. That's going good. I'm going to add some more sugar. It's coming off the thing now. I'm going to add a little bit more sugar to it. It says to add about a cup of powdered sugar. Turn this down. Turn it on low. That's milk. Making a buttercream. If you add too much milk, you can add more powdered sugar. Scrape this down. I'll probably end up adding more powdered sugar. Going good. Mixing up really well. I don't think I need any more milk. I'm just trying to decide if I need more powdered sugar. I'm going to add a little bit more powdered sugar. Scrape the sides there. It's looking good. It's going to have a little butter taste to it. I think it's going to be good. This will be fine. And we can preheat our oven to 375. And that's our glaze. Let that go. Blend up. And I'll turn our oven on to 375. And once it's heated, we can bake our cinnamon rolls. See how that's all blended up perfect now? Perfect glaze. Looking good. Nice buttery taste to that glaze. All right, I'm gonna turn it off and just leave it until they're ready after they're baked. These are all ready to go, so we're just gonna wait for the oven to heat up to 375 and put them in the oven and bake them for 25 to 30 minutes, it says, at 375. So I will get you when we're putting them in the oven. It's preheated at 375. We're gonna put these in the oven for 25 minutes. I ended up cooking these for 10 more minutes because they weren't done yet. I think it's because of the thickness they were. So with that, we'll see what they are when they're done. These are all done. I'm going to put the glaze on them while it's hot, fresh out of the oven. Give them all a nice good taste with the glaze. So I can melt that butter. It'll be oh so yummy. So the extra 10 minutes worked out great for these. These are really ooey, gooey. Well, there we go. Once they cool down, I'll take one out and give it a try. So with that, we'll just wait until they cool down a little bit and I'll peel one out and give it a try. All right, guys. This is what my fresh new haircut looks like, all cut. And here's our cinnamon roll, fresh milled sourdough cinnamon roll we're gonna try right now. That is so sweet. It tastes really good. That tastes yummy. You got a yummy bite. The texture is definitely different than a regular cinnamon roll because it has sourdough in it, plus it's fresh milled. So with that, give it a thumbs up and see you on the next one.